Brutal attack. Ukrainian troops shoot down Russian Su-30 jets use Stinger missile over Kharkiv. Ukrainian authorities shared a video of a Russian jet plunging from the sky after being struck by an American-made Stinger missile. The Ukrainian Minister of Defense has praised Western nations for providing advanced missile systems to Kyiv in support of the war against Russia. Oleksii Reznikov released a video of a Kremlin jet being shot down from the sky to evidence the effectiveness of American Stinger missiles in the conflict. In the clip, the missile is seen making contact with the aircraft over the Kharkiv region before the plane rapidly spirals to the ground, exploding a huge plume of flames and thick black smoke as it makes contact. The news comes as President Zelensky has lobbied international allies of Ukraine to continue the provision of military aid after Vladimir Putin ordered the mobilization of an additional 300,000 troops. Writing on Twitter, the Ukrainian defense minister said, 10 months ago, in Washington, D.C., I asked for Stingers for the Ukrainian armed forces and heard it's impossible many times. Today, a Russian Su-30 jet was shot down by a Ukrainian Stinger in the Kharkiv region, so the impossible is indeed possible. The U.S.-manufactured Stinger is a portable air defense system capable of striking targets up to 4 kilometers away. The Biden administration has committed to providing Ukraine with over 1,400 Stinger anti-aircraft systems in order to continue the defense against the Russian invasion. Addressing the UN General Assembly, President Zelensky told world leaders, "We need defense support weapons, military equipment, and shells. Offensive weapons, long-range weapons to liberate our land, and defensive systems, above all, air defense." According to the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, 259 Russian military jets have been destroyed in the conflict, in addition to a further 220 helicopters. Oryx, an independent analyst for defense intelligence, reported at least 58 Russian aircraft losses had been confirmed through the use of video and photographic proof. In a pivotal moment for the war, Vladimir Putin has announced a partial mobilization of Russian reserve forces will take place over the coming weeks, set to generate an additional 300,000 troops for the front line in Ukraine. The Ukrainian president denounced the Kremlin's decision to mobilize, suggesting Vladimir Putin's decree was proof Moscow had no intention to seek peace negotiations to end the war. The UK Ministry of Defense reported, Russia is likely to struggle with the logistical and administrative challenges of even mustering the 300,000 personnel. An intelligence report claimed the mobilization order had exposed Russia's lack of willing volunteers to continue the special military operation to bring Ukraine under the control of the Russian Federation. The decision to conduct a partial mobilization comes in wake of a largely successful counteroffensive operation by Ukrainian armed forces. President Zelensky's troops targeted Russian-occupied regions in the south and east and were able to reclaim over 2,000 square kilometers of territory. UK defense intelligence has reported that Ukrainian troops are now putting pressure on areas Moscow considers essential to its war aims. In an effort to assert legitimized claim over controlled territory in Ukraine, Kremlin forces have conducted a series of pseudo-referendums, forcing civilians to vote on whether their region should be annexed by Russia. The referendums have been labeled a sham by international powers, with numerous world leaders using the UN General Assembly as an opportunity to declare the result of the vote should not be formally recognized. However, Russia has organized a range of sham referendums in occupied regions of Ukraine in an attempt to take over the areas. Fighting between Russia and Ukraine has intensified in the regions as voting on annexation draws to a close. Moscow hopes to annex 4 regions of Ukraine in its latest attempt to tighten its grip on Ukraine. The voting began on Friday and is due to conclude on Tuesday, with Russia expected to approve annexation in days. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the Donetsk region belongs to Ukraine and remains both Ukraine's and Russia's vital strategic priority. Both forces engaged in intense fighting on Tuesday as the voting in the regions were closing. Kyiv has slammed reports that the Kremlin is forcing prisoners of war to vote in the sham referendums in eastern Ukraine. The Kremlin is attempting to annex Kherson, Luhansk, Donetsk, and Zaporizhia in both the east and the south. The four regions, which are not under full Russian control, make up approximately 15% of Ukraine. The Center for Countering Disinformation in Ukraine's government said the forced voting was another manipulation aimed at promoting the Kremlin's narrative in the occupied territory. Foreign Secretary James cleverly added, "Sham referendums held at the barrel of a gun cannot be free or fair, and we will never recognize their results."